What's going on? All thanks for tuning in once again. Just a few things to consider before you make your pick with the AJ versus Ngannou fight. A lot of people are really going for Ngannou on this one. A lot of fighting people, UFC, MMA, those sort of fan bases, they're going for Ngannou. They believe that Ngannou is the champion, that he did beat Tyson Fury. They have a lot of faith in him, beating Joshua by knockout. And people are saying, well, Joshua doesn't have a chin. He got stopped from Ruiz. So I just want to talk on that. The thing is that what happened with Joshua was an accumulation of punches. Ngannou's a guy that throws singles. I don't think that he can knock out Joshua with one punch. I know that he's heavy-handed, I know it is heavyweight boxing, but I think that, Joshua's a guy that you have to really put him out. Think Tyson Fury, a guy that you really need to put him out. One punch isn't going to do it. Joshua, taking a punch from Klitschko, the hard-hitting Vladimir Klitschko, put him down, still manages to get up. With Ruiz, he got up each time, and the referee waved it off. Now Joshua has developed, his boxing skills. After that Ruiz fight, he was always a guy that came forward. When he lost to Ruiz, he learned how to box a bit better, on the back foot and things like that. He managed to stay away from Ruiz in the second fight. And I think that's the approach that he's going to take with Ngannou, try to stay away with the jab. Where Tyson Fury was a guy that came forward when he fought Ngannou, and that's where he got caught. I think in this fight, Joshua stays away, out jabs Ngannou, and I think that he will, manage to let his hands go. And if he does, if he lets his hands go at the right time, let's just say Ngannou's throwing a single punch, and Joshua's throwing, 3, 4, 5 punches, I don't think that Ngannou's going to expect that. Tyson Fury was throwing 1-2s. He was boxing, throwing 1-2s, and that's when he got counted, when he threw the 1-2 repetitively. Joshua was a guy that does throw in 3 and 4s in the past anyway. When he does find his moments, he will let his hands go. As long as Joshua isn't too hesitant and he does let his hands go, I think he can knock out Ngannou. I don't think that Ngannou can knock out Joshua with one punch. And like I say, the punches that I've seen from Ngannou is the left hook and the uppercut. If AJ's expecting that, it's going to be easy for him to not only counter it, but follow up after that, if you know what I'm saying. So, I mean, MMA, is completely different to boxing in terms of exchanging with punches. Usually MMA guys, they throw kicks, they throw, elbows, knees, etc. With boxing, they just let their hands go, So Joshua will have that experience of being able to throw more, when he knows when to. With the clinching, I do agree that, Ngannou may have an advantage if they do clinch, because Joshua's never been a guy that does punch his way out of a clinch. Usually he just, holds and then sort of pushes them off and then throws a jab. So I think Ngannou's best chance is to, try to hurt him when they're clinching. He is the bigger guy, believe it or not, in terms of strength. Both guys are strong, but I think Ngannou does have a a stronger core. So I mean, I don't think that he can push back Joshua, but I think that he can, be strong enough to hurt him if they do clinch. But that's if Joshua allows it. Joshua can easily out jab Ngannou, move away from him. He's got a fight to watch, which was against Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury was more successful on the back foot against Ngannou. So I mean, as long as Joshua's pivoting, moving laterally, throwing the jab, keeping Ngannou away, countering him, at the right time, and then following up with, combinations, I think Joshua can put him out. As long as Joshua isn't hesitant, he's not turning it into a brawl straight away. He's boxing the fighter. I don't see Ngannou being able to, for one, outbox Joshua. I don't think that will happen. If he's expecting to knock out Joshua, which I believe is his only chance of winning, it's going to be very hard to do with one punch. Understand, Tyson Fury did get up from Ngannou's hook. And Ngannou's saying, hey, I don't think Joshua would have gotten up from that. So, I mean, it seems like he is, committing to that one punch KO power. And I don't think that it will work against a boxer that does have his guard up, that does throw, jabs and then puts his guard up immediately. Like I said, he's improved a lot on defense after the Ruiz fight. As well as, moving, fought Usyk twice, so he's got experience against a high level boxer. And Ngannou's got no experience against many boxers, just Tyson Fury, a guy that was basically, in my opinion, unprepared and was throwing himself forward and getting very vulnerable coming forward, trying to out-muscle the bigger guy. Just the wrong game plan altogether. I believe Joshua will have the right game plan. He usually does train hard. He usually is, focused. I don't think that he is taking this as lightly as Fury did. So I mean, a focused boxer, ready to box, ready to move, ready to jab, ready to follow up after a counter, more experience, and throwing punches, I just think it's going to be too much for Ngannou. Understand that he's also a gold medalist. He's a very disciplined fighter, Joshua. So I mean, Ngannou, he needs to definitely, try to close the gap. He needs to definitely try to tie up Joshua and try to hurt him, deep inside the pocket. Maybe when they do break away, keep firing at him, keep throwing at him. Joshua, like I said, doesn't really punch himself out of situations. He holds and then pushes away. I saw that on the Franklin fight. He doesn't really punch himself out of clinches. So, I mean, Ngannou's got to focus on that part of it. And in MMA, there is a lot of clinching, so he will be good at that, at clinching. Can he get to Joshua, though? That's another question. Joshua does have a good power jab. He does have good power in both hands. And I think with the discipline, with the structure of, sticking to his game plan, using his boxing skills, I just think it's going to be far too much for Ngannou. I do see a knockout. I think that he will let his hands go. I think that Ngannou won't expect, hard combination punches, especially when it gets to like 3, 4, 5 combinations. Think Manny Pacquiao, no one's ever ready for that 4th or that 5th punch. If Joshua can let his hands go, not just a 1-2 like Fury done, but, a 3, 4, 5 punch combination, I think he does catch Ngannou and put him out. I'm hoping for a knockout. I wouldn't be surprised if Joshua does just win on points. in Ngannou's case, his only way of winning is by knockout. Leave your take on it. Look forward to the comments. Just thought I'll drop, a video on that. What I thought of the fight and why I think that Joshua has a big advantage. Leave your take.